Welcome to Meta Madness, everybody! Meta Madness number 9. So, once again, the craziness starts. Now, some people might actually not know what Meta Madness is. You probably already saw the rule that we implemented for a lot of tournaments for tons of years now, where a hero can only be played once within a series. This was always the Meta Madness light rule, because the actual Meta Madness has, in addition to that, also pre-bans. So, all the heroes that you see down here, 11 right now, are banned for the entire event and cannot be picked by the teams. And then additionally, of course, every single hero can only be played once, which automatically means that as we're progressing from one map to the next, things are getting a little bit more crazy. Now, just as a bit of a side note, the number of bans can still increase. This is always hinging on sub goals on the Twitch channel, and as I already announced in one of the videos on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, every member that joins the YouTube channel, there's a join button underneath the video screen, will also be added to those goals. So if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're joining as a member, that would also count towards banning out more heroes for the playoffs. So we could increase that number up to 25 at a maximum. That I don't think that has ever happened, but still, with more and more banned, obviously the drafts are going to be wilder and wilder and wilder. Now, just a little bit of information as well on top of that, we have at the same time, we're having a little bit of change, and that is that in this particular tournament format, we have now 3 maps that get played no matter what. So this is a full round robin. We have 7 teams currently in our group stage phase, and we have the entire time just everybody plays each other, and each match has 3 maps. Doesn't matter the score, there's not a best of 3, there's just 3 maps get played, and that's it. And every single map is a point, and then that's how the ranking gets put together. Make sure that we're going to get 3 matches or 3 games in every single match, and therefore a couple more games, you know, a little bit more fun when it comes to the drafts themselves, and you don't have a situation where it's just a 2-0. So just is a little bit more predictable. It makes it also easier for the players to deal with, and for just a point scoring system and a leaderboard, this makes quite a bit of sense. Already we have a couple of bands coming in here. Gremlins obviously should be a known entity. When you're looking over to Team Red Cat, they are a little bit new in the competitive environment here, but you should definitely recognize some of the players. So it's not like they're brand new and haven't ever played in any of these, but they've been playing, to my knowledge, in Heroes Lounge Division 1, Division 2, so a little bit between both of them. Chromie gets locked in as a first pick. She, by the way, if we're hitting more goals through either Twitch subs or YouTube members, she would be one of the next champions that would be perma-banned for the rest of the tournament if she's being hit. So, yep, Chromie would be the next one out, but right now she's still available, which means that Nano locks her in. Just disclaimer right from the get-go, blue team definitely the favorite here. And in a format like this, where every single map counts, if you're going up against an opponent that is definitely supposed to be stronger, it can sometimes also be nice to prepare a little bit of a cheesy strategy just to lock one map victory in, maybe on a specific map that you prepared, just so you can get 1 additional point against them. Because for someone like the Gremlins, the goal here would be to make this a 3-0 right here. ETC plus Oriel, our next few picks, as we have the front line put together for Team Red Cat as well. Leoric and Melganis on their side. Obviously, here we're still in an environment where essentially you have lots of options of what you can pick, but yeah, things are going to get quite interesting there. So, on the ban side, Tychus gets eliminated. I mean, honestly, it surprised me a little bit that the red team didn't target Nano more on the bans. I would have expected them to ban out Chromie or get rid of well, they don't have to ban Hanzo. Hanzo's already pre-banned, but Chromie is really something that Nano is known for. So that they are going for Samuro instead surprises me just a tad. It's Infernal Shrines, so Tychus gets banned, additional damage dealer eliminated, as we get the Cho'Gall ban. Okay. I don't really think that they would have picked Cho'Gall considering that they have Leo and Melganis at this point, but fair enough. It seems a little bit more like a BS ban to me. But who knows, maybe the Red Cats would actually have thrown that together here. I mean, either way, damage is sorely needed on the side of Team Red Cat. So, and they actually play on the red side too, so maybe that's a little bit of an advantage and a bonus. Kelthas in game 1, and we get Rhaegar. Alright, so the wolf is in the house. We're getting a couple of flame strikes and also living bombs around the shrines, so they already got their AoE locked in too. And with that said and done, it's time for the final 2 picks for the blue team. So we have ETC already for Mopsio. Both teams, by the way, today on the first play day, they're playing with some subs. On the side of the Gremlins, it is Mopsio on his ETC and Pachnox on Urel. And we get a Kerrigan. Triple frontline for Team Red Cat. Okay, guys, that's game number 1. Let's go. Our first match here starts on playday number 1. So without further ado, let's jump into Infernal Shrines to see which team takes it. Gremlins or Team Cat Red. Let's see who takes the victory here. The blue team on the left, Gavlo on Tracer. For the Gremlins, we got Mopsio on ETC. Banana H in game number 1 is playing Oriel. We got Nano on Chromie. And Pachnox is playing Urel. Over on the right side, we get Team Red Cat with Onigiri on Kelthas. We got Chachu on Kerrigan. We got Urana on Rhaegar. Jayhard on Mal'Ganis. And Dryerlink is playing Leoric. So, let's go. Very interested to see how the red team is going to play this one out. Now again, we have 7 teams. We play a full round robin. Only 6 teams advance to the playoffs. And it is very, very important where you actually end up in the ranking. Mopsio nearly became first blood here. Ooh, they could still draw for Urel, but the red team is also pretty low. And Nano is looking for victims. But as I said, it's not only about making it to the playoffs, it's also quite important which position you take, because this is all about how many games you have to play. Rhaegar dies as somehow Banana H is able to keep Gavlo alive. And now it's Kerrigan who's in trouble, and Nano comes in and shows no mercy with a quick hit and kill. Well done. 2 kills to 0 by the Gremlins. But I gotta say, this was pretty close what we just saw there. So this was really, really well done by our boy. And yeah, by now the Gremlins, they got their 2 kills, but Team Red Cat with a pretty good start into this too. They could have definitely taken out a hero or 2, but weren't quite able to lock those kills in. So now they're trailing just a little bit. But we obviously also expected the blue team to come out swinging here, considering that they are absolutely the favorites in this one. The Gremlins have done especially well in recent tournaments, and for Team Red Cat, this is still them dipping their toes in to tournaments with much more high-level players. So we'll see how they can work this one out. ETC, uh-oh, the face check, and Chromie not able to get a kill here. They're actually trying to turn this now on Mopsio. And Mopsio, is he going to run in that Kerrigan combo? Nah, cooldowns, when ready in time. But that was some nice turnaround attempt here as Pachnox is slowing the rotation down a little bit further. Leo up against Tracer up at the top lane. Already the next push being made here for the cow. Moo! And there's the CC chain! And Mopsio gets out. But they clearly are hungry. They want that burger over there. Yeah, they definitely want the mobs. But ETC has been able to escape so far every single time. Sometimes it might have been a bit too close for comfort, but he made it out after all, so I guess good for him. On level 4, we're now getting also the sharpened blades. We have obviously for Kelthas, Netherwind, as he locks in his stacks. And the experience gap has kind of been closed. Now, it will be interesting on the first objective to see how the teams are going to perform here. Rhaegar is trying to get the camp, but he will need an assist if they want to get this in time. The gap of roughly half level in experience could become a problem if the blue team is able to lock in a level 7 ability, so this is another thing to watch out for. Camp still about to be claimed, so they grab that in time too. Objective is up, but has been activated now. And it's a Frozen Punisher, so that's going to be a big one too. Keep in mind that in the recent patch, or since the recent patch, we now don't have Punishers jumping over walls anymore. Ooh, and Leorki getting killed in the mid lane is a bit unfortunate. Now, he'll be back pretty quickly. Also connected to Drain, so not all is lost here. But the red team is actually trying to macro this one out a bit. And is instead just trying to go for, first of all, Tracer. They nearly killed Gavlo here. And take a couple of structures out. Maybe give the opponent the Punisher. But at least even it out when it comes to damage on towers and gates. The kill against Tracer could have been a really nice one, but Gavlo was able to get away. Kerrigan with some nice moves on the other hand. Bot lane, Kel'Thas against Yrel, and up here with 33 stacks to 12. Yes, the red team is taking more control of the shrine now, but this is too little too late, I believe. Level 7 on both sides at this point. Here comes Mal'Ganis again. They're trying to tee it up against Mopsio. Kerrigan with the combo. Mopsio low. Kerrigan wants him and gets whipped into the wall by Oriel. And Rhaegar dies a second later. Tracer doing work. The Punisher taken. Team Red Cat is getting dangerously close to kill after kill, but they're always being shut down every single time. And the blue team is doing a pretty great job just keeping everybody in play. There's so many of their heroes, they could have been lost early already, but they are somehow able to survive through all of it. And now, of course, the damage in the middle of the map is going to be fairly significant. The wall already gone. Punisher jumps in, gets a double stun out of it. Yeah, they're still all alive, but this is a problem. Here comes the Chromie ult. And they're still not able to get a kill, but that's a lot of damage on that fort. Kerrigan is doing work at the top. Yrel moving in to try and counterplay that. Punisher is still baited over, but the fort is going to fall. The Gremlins with all the damage in the world here, and they did well. They are level ahead now, and taking the fort out was a big, big step for them. So really well done. Red team is trying to do whatever they can here. Top side. I mean, Kerrigan honestly had some really nice plays so far. She had definitely a couple of good moves. It's currently sitting at 6,000 damage. We nearly have 10k for Leo. 18,000 for Tracer already. Kel'Thas still working on that level 1 if I'm not mistaken. 4 kills to 0. And a little bit of a pressure play up at the top as Kerrigan is going in deep and says, okay, we have to try and take that fort out, or at least move it down a little bit. Yrel comes in an attempt to defend it, but with the level 10 ability in their hands, the blue team is now also pressuring the bot lane and is trying to make a move here. And they make it happen against Mal'Ganis, and then they sucker in Kel'Thas with Chromie's ult, and he gets dropped too. Yep, heroic abilities, pretty good. So that's level 11 versus level 9. And the Gremlins pulling farther ahead. 6 kills to 0, 1.5 levels ahead in total. And of course, mad pressure now from the blue team. Completely capitalizing on the fact that they have a heroic ability over the opponent. Whereas for Team Red Cat, they are trying to at least get some top lane damage delivered. Get some experience here closer to level 10, so that maybe with heroic abilities they can try and fight back. But the rotation is coming, has been called out too. So everybody is just moving back out. And yeah, Gavlo with the raccoon mount. Yeah, we need more raccoons too. But anyways, level 10 is ready. Kel'Thas with Phoenix, no surprises on the rogue abilities. Kel'Thas, by the way, still not done with his level 1 talent. Let's not forget about that. In comes again Chromie. Nice. Rhaegar Ancestral here on himself. We got the Phoenix out too. The Entomb. They're trying to get the kill. Aegis instantly being dropped. But it's the red team that is starting to drop low again. The Ultralisk is already out. The play for Yrel. There's no fort to retreat to. Pudgnox is trying to push this further and is isolating the front line. Going for Leo now instead, and he's the first one to fall. But they get Yrel. The counter kill is there. Finally the first point on the board for the red team. But Mal'Ganis gets eliminated a moment after that. And Kerrigan gets also targeted and killed. And the Gremlins now in full control. It's a 4 versus 2 on the map. The next objective is coming up. They can still go for their camps as well, as Chromie is pushing the top lane a bit further. So the blue team is doing exactly what they're supposed to do here. They are, after all, the favorites here. Now again, with the system that we're playing, this is not a best of 3. We're playing out all 3 maps, no matter the score, and every single map gives you a point. Meaning that if a team is just throwing a Hail Mary at some point and a bit of a crazy strategy and is able to sneak a victory in, that already matters quite a bit for the leaderboard in the long run. So for the Gremlins, they are starting to take a bit of an advantage here, but yeah, we'll see if maybe Team Red Cat can do something on the objective now. They're obviously trailing by a talent, but they decided they still want to fight it out without level 13 talents. I mean, I honestly don't think that they're going to catch up to fight 13-13 or 16-16 anytime soon. So they're just taking the disadvantage and are making a move for it as we speak. Starting to come in here, Mosh Pit from Mopsio, and Rhaegar is gone. Rhaegar, Kerrigan, and Mal'Ganis all eliminated. The blue team just too experienced here, and they're dropping the entire team with the exception. Well, maybe not the exception. I think he's gonna die too. This is gonna be a 5-man team wipe right there. Khaldor gets murdered. He's gone, and that is very likely the decision in game number 1. I mean, they're not quite there yet, don't get me wrong. But this is looking extremely good right now for the Gremlins, and very likely the keep at the bottom of the map is gonna fall. We're not even 10 minutes into the game yet, though. 3 level difference between the teams. And the Punisher is jumping in as Jayhard is just getting murdered. So, yeah, he gets eliminated. He's already dropped. And this bottom keep is not going to make it. Spoiler alert. Catapults are already on it. They're going for the next kill. Irana about to get targeted again, but Rhaegar is able to walk out. But there is very little else. Yeah. Alles rennet, rettet, flüchtet. So everybody is just trying to rush away. There's no real fighting spirit anymore. The keep is gone. The core about to be attacked. Leo is already dropped. Finally, the quest completed for Khaldor. So he's going to turn it around now, of course. But with level 16 talents and a 3-level advantage, the difference between the two of them is just a bit too big. The Gremlins, they are absolutely crushing it here. Another mosh pit from ETC. First Khaldor gets murdered, then Kerrigan gets killed. Rhaegar, apparently with a bit of a sympathy death wish here, gets an Ancestral out after all, but the core lost its shield as we speak and is now starting to lose hit points. They're trying for Pajanux again, but 1 kill is all that Team Red Cat has been able to accomplish so far. It's 18 kills to 1. They're still fighting. They're still doing what they can. Chromie is now slowly starting to join up as well. Got a little bit busy over here, but Nana is saying, hey, you know what? Maybe I should help you guys out. So they're trying to go for the next kill, and it's just an endless brawl down here. Oh my god. Yeah, they're just brawling it out completely, but Jayhard is now fully isolated from the rest of the team. Gets crushed. Rhaegar gets dropped. They're looking for more kills. 20 to 1. Kerrigan misses the combo as Tracer zips out. But with the core taking a few damage points, it seems like the blue team is actually going to fall back here. They're 4 levels ahead now. And they're just dropping out for the time being. So, yeah. Maybe with Nano around a little bit earlier, they could have made the difference. But at this point, they will fight another day. Most likely with the Punisher at the top. Now, if they actually decide to do that and wait for the Punisher, then they have to go through the fort first before they can go towards Keep and Core. Obviously, if they're winning a team fight on the objective, they could just beeline it directly for the Core and try and take it out then. We got 7 stacks on the 16 for Oriel. This is a bit of a side note. And yeah, at the top, they are starting to push here. Mopsio is trying to anchor the play over here at the side. It's not impressed by Mal'Ganis at all. It's like, yeah, what are you going to do? We're going to be fine. So they're pressuring that fort. They want to tee everything up that they can with another objective. Just go for the death push right then and there. But, well, Mopsy gets attacked. Wants to spread the love a little bit with a bomb. Comes in. Once he has a slide, they could go for a kill on Leoki again. Ancestral already out for Mr. Skin and Bones. But here comes the Entomb. Can they capitalize on that? It doesn't look like it. The red team is trying what they can here, but Kerrigan is getting attacked again. Pajanux might be in trouble. And Rhaegar gets out. And Tracer just cleans house. Gets the drop on Khaldor first and then eliminates Rhaegar himself. Now we have Leo down. Kerrigan is down. And this is the 5-man team wipe. As they go for Jayhard and drop Mal'Ganis as well. So, that's kind of the moment usually to go straight for the core, and I think they're walking past that keep to make it happen, from the looks of it at least. Well, actually they're not, because the death timers are still insanely low, so they're just breaking the wall here. The fort is gone, and go for the objective after all. It's honestly the biggest problem that they have. They're 4 levels ahead right now with 25 kills to 1. But the issue that they're struggling with is that the death timers are so low that you just can't go for the core right away. We're only 13 minutes into the game, so all they can do is do as much damage as possible before they're getting the objective, and then they try push through the top lane with the help of the Punisher to finish all of this off. Chromie coming back out and just trying to get herself a little bit of mana. Rhaegar again in trouble, and Gavlo on Tracer is just an absolute monster here. 84,000 damage by Tracer is ridiculous when you think about it. I mean, it's just nuts. Gavlo is just crushing this. Now again, Tracer won't be able to be played in the same series again after we're done with this here, but now the camp is even stolen away, so matters are made worse for Team Red Cat, and Kerrigan is gone too. Onigiri kind of saved by the defense mechanic here, but even without the Punisher being inside, that keep top lane has seen better days. So yes, this one is going to get crushed quickly. We have now level 20 talents versus level 16 is what we're looking at. And before the Punisher appears, the full keep is already gone, so they can go for the core now. Khaldor is the one who gets attacked first, but is able to survive. Khaldor, well, scratch that. Tracer dropped him. Gavlo is just cleaning up. Gavlo is just the janitor for game number 1 with his Tracer, getting kill after kill after kill. The Punisher completely ignoring the brawl behind. Well, actually, screw that. Jumped in and gets a stun. They go for Rhaegar. Mopsio with a mosh, and that's Leoki gone. But they are about to... They couldn't get Banana Age. They wanted one more kill and they couldn't get it. Oh, they were so close here. 32 kills to 1 in the first game of this series. Nearly 100,000 damage for Tracer. This is it. The lead goes to the blue team. GG and well played. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Map number 2. So the lead goes to the Gremlins. Also, there was a mistake earlier in the scroll text down there. We have no Abathur ban, so Ismail saved Abathur from extinction. The top 3 gifters on Twitch were allowed to save a hero, and Ismail actually saved Abathur. Abathur was still in there. I had to adjust the lineup and all of that a little bit, and obviously the bans were given to the captains, were also then added to other information pages, but this one was still not updated. So now all fixed, and instead we have a permaban on Junkrat. Now again, in addition to the bans that we have down here, we have also the heroes that were played in game number 1 now unavailable to the teams, which in total bans out 21 heroes as we're going into game number 2. In addition to that, you also have, of course, the 6 bans in the draft itself that add on top of that. Now, Zeratul gets banned out. Dragon Shower is, by the way, the map choice of Team Cat Red, so they had the choice to decide whether or not they want to have first pick, first ban, or if they want to go into map choice, and they decided that they want to play on Dragonshire. It's a little bit worrisome for me, by the way, that we get this continuous ban on Cho'Gall. I don't like that at all. I don't care how much research you do on your opponent. If they are a team that plays a lot of Cho'Gall, then let them play Cho'Gall. Those are the rules here. We should add some additional Meta Madness rules that certain heroes cannot be banned at all. You just can't ban them. They are always available. They're always available for picks. Murky, Cho'Gall, Gazlo, stuff like that. That would at some point make all of this a little bit too convoluted, but yeah, would definitely make things interesting. To be fair, Cho'Gall is going to be played one way or another at some point. I mean, again, as you're progressing towards map number 2, 3, and then later on 4 and 5 when we're talking playoffs, it's going to happen. You're going to run out of space. Early Zagara pick and Malfurion. All right. Zagara straight into that Maiev that we're getting from Gavlo. And after his performance with Tracer, oof, that's one pick where I'm already looking at Gavlo, and I'm just like, oh boy, he's going to crush again, isn't he? He was just murdering them with Tracer, like a surgeon wielding a scalpel, just zipping around them the entire time, dishing out the damage and then finishing them off time and time again with his ult. Now we get Muradin and we got Gul'dan. That's actually a bit surprising to me that Muradin did not end up on that ban list already. I mean, the community voted on which heroes they don't want to see in the tournament, and Muradin did not make it into the top 10. Usually he is a fairly frequent flyer in that slot, but not so much here. So Gul'dan gets picked together with it. Obviously, for Nano, some of his best picks are now not available to him any longer. Stukov gets banned, so no Tether and Murden stun into a Lurking Arm that we're gonna get from the blue team. But after they banned out Tyrael and on top of that Cho'Gall, are they gonna target the front line further, or what's going to be the next and the final ban for the game from the Gremlins? Quick reminder again that this is not a best of 3. All 3 maps are going to be played out. So even if the Gremlins take a victory on Dragonshire, map number 3 is still being played. Every single map represents a point in this round robin that we're playing. So double pick for the red team. I mean, if you pick Dragonshire, I am expecting some kind of pocket strategy. We still have a few available. Falstad as a global could be taken. They have Zagara. I don't see Nidus coming anytime soon, but hey. Okay, Varian, Malfurion, Thrall behind it. With Zagara, I'm honestly looking a bit for Wombos here too. If they get a good Maw out, I suppose Thrall might actually throw in that Earthquake. But what is Onigiri gonna pick? What's the final choice here gonna be? Sadath, by the way, now back for the Gremlins. They had to swap him out in game number 1. He was a bit late to the party, and therefore they played with an additional sub. They played with Pudgenox, who played Urel in the last game, but now Sadath back, and they play Samuro and Tyrande. Yeah, this is gonna get a bit annoying. Murden, Tyrande running in that round and just getting one hit in after another. So the stuns are gonna come, and Maiev is gonna try and capitalize on it, get some tethers down there too. That brings us our next and final pick for map number 1 in this. And yeah, Onigiri, they need something to help out Zagara with the damage output. They go for Sylvanas. Alright, Sylvanas is in the house, everybody, and we're heading to Dragonshire, our second map in the series here, the round robin phase of Meta Madness number 9. The Gremlins in the lead. Over on the left side, we got Gavlo after his pretty stellar performance on Tracer, this time with Maiev. Nano is playing Gul'dan. We got Banana H on Tyrande. And the other half of the equation played by Mopsio. He goes for Murden. So Miranda, old school, was already played early on in the alpha and beta of Heroes of the Storm with Sadath on Samuro. On the right side, Onigiri with Sylvanas, Might of the Banshee Queen on level 1 for Team Red Cat. We got Chachu on Zagara. Ooh, going for Infest. Haven't seen that since the early days of the current patch. Jhard with Varian. We got Urana on Malfurion, and Dryling is playing Thrall. So the Infest Zagara style. This was a bit of the hyper-aggressive push plays that we've seen at the beginning when Blizzard released the current patch, where you now have the Inspire mechanic on minions when you start attacking structures, and people were trying to just push that down as much as they could. So we'll see if that's going to be successful here for them. Could be useful, but I think this is going to be a bit tricky. Against an experienced team like the Gremlins to try and go for a macro approach, not impossible, but you have to really communicate well, because Zagara is just mega on the squishy side. Ho 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 ho! That's a kill! Maiev is down! First blood! Nice! Congratulations! They got it! They invaded the camp over here and got the kill. Yeah, well, and then Sylvanas gets killed, but honestly, I don't care. First blood goes to Team Red Cat. GG next! Mission accomplished! So they got the kill this time, but they got quickly counter kill too. Now we have the mad push at the bottom of the map, with Tyrande trying to stop this, but the gate is already gone. The tower's down to 50% HP. So once that we get Zagara into a position where she can actually do damage, she will do damage. But they have to get her into that spot a little bit more often, so time will tell if they can do that. If the blue team is mirroring Zagara's movements, then it's gonna get a little bit tricky. Yeah, Thrall at the top gets murdered. Varian is now moving in, but he doesn't have anybody to play off against, so that's a bit of a problem. 2 kills to 1. Gremlins with 1 loss so far earlier, but now level 4 abilities coming in. Gul'dan is going full on Saki with his build, so he comes in with the Chaotic Energy and then with Health Funnel, so going for full drain, as Varian gets his taunt and is now essentially online with those plays. Already trying to utilize that over here. But Gavlo gets out. Yeah, Gavlo was able to get away. Maiev was the target. Top side. Oh, that's a dangerous push. They got the cam, they got everything here. So there's definitely some assistance needed, and Serath was trying to take control of this and gets taunted and murdered. Malfurion at the bottom of the map gets also eliminated, but still, that is now a second kill for Team Red Cat. So they're doing already better here than they did in game number 1. That's already double the amount of kills that they had on the first map. Pretty impressive. One more and they can triple it. So they should be graded on a scale right now. Tyrande with one owl after another, just obviously checking out the typical spots where you would expect the opponent. Oh, and that's a dead Zagara right there. Yeah, too many stuns and she's dead. This is exactly the problem. You're going for a heavy push Zagara, which is not bad, but you need to get her there. And the farther she has to move out on the map in order to get value out of the talent picks and the idea behind her, the more difficult this is going to get. And now we have the first objective coming in for the Gremlins. They're getting interrupted here once. But Muradin is back on the channel again, and nice. Thrall in this Orc versus Orc battle at the top is able to retake the shrine for a short period of time at least. Loses it a moment later though, and the blue team is on it again, trying for the first Dragonite. The interrupt doesn't happen, and Maiev grabs it right there. So, with that, we have the potential for some damage. As long as you play around the Dragon's Breath as best as you can. Sylvanas is getting her butt kicked a little bit, and Malfurion at the bot lane is dead now too. Yeah, well, that's kill number 5. Blue team, as the favorites in this series, are so far playing this more or less flawlessly. They had the problems in the early game when they lost 2 of their heroes, but right now they're definitely gaining more momentum. And with Muradin coming in, they get that Stormbolt, and they kill Varian. This is honestly also where you really see a team that is playing on a pretty high level, going up against someone that is not quite as experienced yet. We have a couple of Masters player over on the side of Team Red Cat. Their team is a mix between Division 1 and Division 2 out of Heroes Lounge. But when we're talking about the Gremlins, then they're obviously an experienced tournament team with lots of high-level players, and they are showcasing that as we speak. Kill number 7 comes in as Muradin makes another jump. The stun combos that we're getting from them are just too much for the Red Cats to handle right now. Still our Thrall versus Samuro battle all the way up at the top. And the gap in experience is now wide enough that it starts to become a concern, because level 10 abilities will soon drop in for the blue team, and then they can push this even more. So, yeah, Onigiri a little bit low over here. So is the fort, by the way. It drops down to 50% of its HP. Disc is ready. Gets thrown out, but misses. A 4-man pushing the bottom of the map. And topside. Oh, the mechanic. Yeah. Thrall gets saved. But, boy, that is getting too dangerous. And there's a good chance that Thrall is actually going to go down. His chances are essentially giving up that fort and retreating, or trying and potentially dying. Talking about dying, Malfurion again down. Another Stormbolt hits, and they're just running an endless CC train over the red team, who are struggling to get to level 10. Zagara gets dropped by Horrify, is able to escape. Samuro eliminated Thrall at the top, and now Varian is down at the bottom of the map. So one fort is gone. The one in the middle has also been destroyed. And then topside, Sylvanas is taking over, attempting to defend this. Also attempting to go for Serath, who's still alive here. Muradin jumps in. They're not just farming. They're playing Heroes of the Storm Whack-A-Mole. Just moving from lane to lane and taking one hero down after another. Ruthlessly dropping them. That's now 11 kills to 2. And a lot of that, of course, facilitated or helped out at least by that level 10 ability that they locked in quickly. And this is really the power of an experienced tournament team. They have a huge lead in minion experience. We have a massive advantage in hero experience alone. And that translates directly into a 2-level advantage now that we finally see Team Red Cat with their level 10s. So now they have level 10 abilities and can potentially fight back here. On level 4, we got, by the way, again, Shandol's Clarity, so Malfurion, again, drinking. I can't really remember where we sat on this. Like, I always suggested that Shandol's Clarity sounds like it's some kind of alcohol. People, I think, claimed it's like a wheat brand. It's more likely. Not quite sure where we landed on it. I think some of the Californians have to jump in on this and enlighten us. But in the meantime, disc on Sylvanas, and after Varian just died, Sylvanas is dead as well. That's 13 kills to 2. It's a brutal comp to go up against. This combo between Muradin and Tyrande is just exceptionally well executed here by Team Red Cat. And yeah, that's just what it is. By the way, big round of applause first and foremost for the red team signing up in the first place. They were a bit unlucky with the draw because currently it is to be expected that the Gremlins are fairly high up in the standings. So not really the most favorable first match for the red team. But it also kind of showcases a little bit how big the gap oftentimes is and how small these errors are that you can make when you're going up against the top team. Should be a little bit of a reminder for the crowd out there that is always like, oh, this looks like my bronze games. So you're always welcome to sign up for tournaments yourself and see if you can do better. The Gremlins, though, they are again mercilessly pushing for structures. We're now 8 minutes into the game and they want to end this one quickly. The keep at the bot lane is already about to be destroyed. They go for Varian again and the draft is just not flowing together for Team Red Cat at all. We have one kill after another coming in. They're farming them. So it's essentially a farming simulator that we see here with 17 kills, 2-2. Top side, we currently saw Samuro go for the keep there, damage it a bit as well. Now he's pushing in the middle. Seems like the rest of the blue team doesn't even need him any longer. They're just killing Malfurion again and now trying to go for the core. Sadath is like, I'm here, boys! And everybody's just like, yeah, we don't even care, dude. You abandoned us in game number 1, we had to get a sub, and now we're just gonna end this one without you. So, they're going for the core and they end it. 9 minutes into the game, and the blue team leads with a 2-0. GG, and well played. Coming up next, we have game number 3 for you guys. Before we go, a big shout out to everybody that is supporting the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor. Really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you very, very much. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene live with all of the events and tournaments that we're hosting, then please consider to check out patreon.com/Khaldor and support the channel there. It's the best way to support all of the things that we're currently doing for the scene and plan to do in the future. With that being said, enjoy the next game of the series. Final map, map number 3. So, 2-0 lead for the Gremlins. They made this one quick. They are the favorites here, so they're definitely the top dog. I am still waiting for the time when somebody in the context of Meta Madness adopts the strategy that we've just recently seen in the Underdog Cup, where a team comes into the series, is completely aware that they are a massive underdog, and just says, you know what, we're going to go crazy in game number 1. We're just going to pick 5 supports, and then we're going to ban out even more of them. And if you have a few pre-bans on supports too, you can get rid of that support role very, very quickly or reduce it significantly and then just let chaos reign. You know, just basically gambling and saying, if we play a normal style here, we're going to be behind no matter what. But if we do it like this, then we have an opportunity and we can actually, you know, maybe thrive in the chaos and turn this one around. So, Joker gets unfortunately banned again. We have Zeratul dropped as well. So, yeah, a bit sad. This is game number 3 now. Again, we have 3 maps being played. No matter the score, every map is a point. And currently, this means that we have now 31 heroes eliminated. 11 heroes are pre-banned, 20 have been played. So, all of them are already gone, which means that you can only rely on the ones that are still available. And the number could be increased, as I said before, as we are entering the playoffs, up to the point where we're entering the playoffs. Chen gets banned out as well. There's still plenty around here. But, well, for Zeratul, who's going to join him on the ban side? Okay, they're getting rid of Lucio. So, Lucio is banned. He's already zipping around here way too much, with BOE being the map. Actually, who is still up for picks here for BOE for good damage? Vala is pre-banned. Greymin is available, I suppose. In the context of Meta Madness, Artanis makes a little bit more sense. I'm not going to rip teams if they're actually going for him here. So, yes, if you ban out half the lineup in the hero pool, then even Artanis becomes an option. But outside of that, I guess Jimmy could be a really strong pick if he goes for Exterminator here on level 1. A lot of the typical choices are already out. Li Ming is still available, so she's another one. So there's still a couple of options that the teams could go for. Regardless of that, the first pick for the blue team is Garrosh, so they have a strong frontliner already with Mopsio going to try and run this. And then on the red team side, we get Liming and we got Imperius. Alright, yeah. Liming is definitely going to be nice here. They can poke a lot. And they also have on top of that then Imperius, who can maybe even tee things up for her, get a quick lunge and a stun connected, and just let Liming do her thing and get a reset or two. But I still want to see what the Gremlins are now going to do in regards to their immortal damage. Ooh, oh, Gavlo with Alarak now. Okay, so we're getting, after he played Tracer in game 1, Maiev in game number 2, we're now getting Banana on Ana with Alarak playing Gavlo. So we could see the big nano boost here. And unless Banana runs out of mana on Ana, Banana's Ana is pretty banana. So normally people ban Ana against Banana, but in this case, the red team didn't ban Ana against Banana, which is pretty wild because, as I said before, if you don't ban Ana against Banana, then he's going to pick Ana, and Banana's Ana is crazy good unless she runs out of mana. But, well, for now, it seems like he's going to give that boost over to Alarak. We'll see. Could obviously still pick a mage that benefits from that nano boost even further, but I think this is going to be an Alarak shot that they're going to try and go for. But yeah, so we have an Uberak band out. Tychus got the axe. I don't think that we would have seen a Tychus pick there. Before you go for Tychus, you would go for Jimmy for sure. They themselves might pick him up now. So some anti-Alarak. Whatever, they need something here. Diablo Imperius at the front, okay. I'm still waiting for that Greymane pick. Greymane or Jimmy? For one of the teams. Ooh, the Fruit Fly. Okay, so we get the Fruit Fly for Team Red Cat. Right, get your fly spotters ready. They got the Fruit Fly. Final 2 picks for the blue team now, though. What's the real damage gonna be like? But yeah. Let's see. Jimmy is in. And we got a Tannis, yeah. So they got a Tannis for a little bit of extra damage. They got Jimmy for the extra damage, and then Alarak is going to try and murder the opponent. Get that nano boost there. Unless, obviously, she goes Iophorus. That's another option for them. And then Deathwing. Deathwing for the red team. Okay, everybody, the final map in the series. So let's see who takes the final point that can be dished out in the match. Battlefield of Eternity is our final map, and without further ado, let's jump straight in. The blue team in the lead with the 2-0 now against Team Red Cat, and we get Gavlo instantly with Exterminator. So at this point, we got Sadath on Atanis, Mopsio on Garrosh, Banana on Ana. We got Nano on Alarak, and he's going for the stacks. Extended Lightning as his level 1. Over on the right side, Onigiri with Brightwing. We got Chacho and Imperius, Jayhard with Diablo. Urana's playing Liming, and we got Dryerlink on Deathwing. So, in game number 2, at least they were able to get first blood, so that's still a bit of a win for them, or at least it was. But you can tell that the blue team is going for a bit of a speed run at this point here. Now, they gotta be careful. With this being a little bit of a different format that we're using in the tournament, where all 3 maps are being played out and each map represents a point, you can't get too cocky. We've seen this in the past, actually, that some of the teams that were in the massive lead in a best of 5 series, for example, and a 2-0 lead, and then were just taking it easy in game number 3, can lose a map. In a best of 3, where it's all about the match victory, that's not necessarily that big of a problem. But if every single map represents a point, then you can never really let up, or you're just leaving points on the floor and hand them over to your opponent. And it's not only that you're competing against them, as you will later in the bracket phase of the tournament, but you also have to think about how are other teams going to play here and how are you going to measure up against them. So every single point, especially early on in this round robin matter. And they lose again Garrosh. Garrosh is gone. So that is first blood. Mopsio gets taken out. Nicely done. Well played, and we're going to take another look at that. So, yeah, they all stick around here. Mopsio is sitting tight and then gets just simply flipped over and doesn't even know what happened to him and is dead. So once again, Team Red Cat with first blood. I like it, honestly. They signed up for the tournament here. They knew that they would be one of the underdogs, and they do whatever they can to just get a little bit better, to get more experience, and to see if they can pressure opponents. And they get a second kill, and they take Anna down. So that's 2 down. Brightwing gets dropped a moment later, so at least the counter kill for the Gremlins. But I gotta say, Team Red Cat, it's not like they're... I mean, again, they were crushed in the first 2 maps, and now they're not, you know, sitting there trying to play super passive. They're not afraid to move out. They're just saying, boys, let's do our thing. Let's learn, let's rewatch this later, let's try to get better, and make sure that we're getting something out of this. And I love that spirit coming in here, and them getting the quick kills early on in the game. So nicely done. 2 kills for the red team. Mopsio is trying to slow them down a bit on the camp, but yeah, absolutely no respect for him. They're just sitting there like, yeah, if you want, try and intercept us here. We are going to show you how it's done, buddy. Instead, what we're now getting at the bottom of the map is still our 1v1 between Deathwing and Alarak. Alarak is getting some easy stacks here. The first objective, of course, now about to pop in, and this is where with Atanis and with Jimmy, we have some damage. Atanis, by the way, did not go for the amateur opponent. Protector of Aya is what we're getting instead. So he's trying to go for stacks and not just for pure immortal damage. Bit of a side note. And they're starting to damage the immortal already pretty significantly. This is the beauty of having Jimmy with you. Jimmy is amazing on the first objective in particular. Huge spike for him. Red team is playing around it as best as they can. Diablo, a little bit of trouble, losing a lot of the hit points here and getting bullied around, oh my god, by the Immortal as well. One stun circle after another. It's a 50-50 between the 2 teams on the other hand though. Diablo, gets targeted and goes down, and the level 1 quest for Alarak is now completed. They're going for Li Ming, drop her 2. Gavlo, low. It's again the same thing that we already saw on the first map. Red team is getting super close to getting a kill or 2, but it's the red team that just plays it extremely well and just doesn't die. So now Garrosh comes in, drops Imperius, they're chasing down Brightwing, and yeah, fake Deathwing is escaping. We have real Deathwing and fake Deathwing actually made it out. Real Deathwing also still alive, but of course this is going to seal the deal on the Immortal itself. Li Ming is going to try and reduce the shield a bit further, but at the end of the day, this is a solid 50% for Team Gremlin. And, well, with the extra kill against Diablo, that's of course another little advantage. Fake Deathwing gets taken out, and that is 6 kills to 2 and a level 7. Sadath also with lots of hits on his level 1. 120 stacks as we are approaching the 5-minute mark. We have 10 stacks for Alarak. Played by Nano, by the way, so they swapped a couple of the heroes around from the draft that we saw earlier. Big push coming up through the top lane right now with the wall already gone. So let's see if they can get the entire fort here. For now, the defense is still holding on to it. Yeah, Diablo flipped around. Brightwing is saying hello. Deathwing also present at this point. And yeah, Li Ming just firing away as best as she can. But this fort is low. They're going to save it for now, but it's going to be really, really low here. That can be picked up by the blue team at essentially any time. They're trying again for Jimmy. I mean, Jimmy can be the weak point here as long as they target him properly. Mopsio probably not so much. But it's now Brightwing that gets murdered again. The Fruit Fly just gets eliminated as they should. Mopsio low gets the save and is able to escape. Dryling could have maybe lined that up a little bit better. I think they had a kill there, but it's a bit tough. They got dangerously close one way or another. Trash Tannis at the bottom of the map now. Still playing this out against Chachu. Is sitting at 170 stacks, and ooh, bullseye on Diablo. Diablo dead, and that marks the end of the top fort. So they're diving on it. Inspire buff on the minion wave. Triggered, and that fort is gone. So that is the first major structure gone in the game, 6 minutes into it. We have with level 7 now Unstable Compound for Jimmy, and we get also the Mind-Numbing Agent for Anna. Big swap! Viable! 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 Atanis, useful for just a second. Gets the swap in. Went, by the way, into the Purifier Beam, so we're going Laser Show here. Interesting tool against Deathwing, by the way. Pretty big hitbox, so you can actually get value out of that. And that's exactly what they're doing against Deathwing. That is a pretty solid tool. They're getting Brightwing again. Pure Brightwing. Actually, what did I just say? Pure Brightwing? No, screw that. Brightwing is getting exactly what she deserves, and I wish every single game was like this one. So, 4 deaths on Brightwing. It should be more, honestly. That's what she deserves. But, yeah, Brightwing still survived some of these attacks. By now, we have Diablo and Liming following. So, they're getting dropped too. 12 kills, 2-2. And this might be the next fort. Sada still killing it here. Has been farming quite a bit of damage against Deathwing in that 1v1 on the bot lane. So, now we got 26,000 damage on his side. Deathwing, though, 32,000. 32,000, and Jimmy is already over on the left side going for the halftime show. That level, one of the big advantages of the blue team, and one of the key points in essentially every single game that we have so far seen between these two, is that early on the Gremlins are always able to establish a roughly 1 level lead between themselves and the opponent and get the early level 10. And then they fully exploit that gap. And this is a problem. So they're doing exceptionally well here. Atanis again with the ult against Deathwing. Big hitbox, big damage. But can they get a kill? Nice turret. Anna nearly dying, but is able to get away. They need to coordinate their attack a little bit more. Deathwing turns into Deadwing as Atanis gets the kill. Is now sitting at 270 stacks. Makes it 284. So he is actually starting to get some auto attack damage in all of this. Atanis in the thick of things and able to stack things up as we have them go for the next objective. And this time, it's going to be a big shield. Massive shield. Also, 26 stacks for Alarak. We have Alarak on 30,000 damage. Atanis on 33k. We're going to get the big Immortal at the bottom of the map as the top lane gets pushed out a bit further. 3-level gap between the teams with a 13 kill advantage for the Gremlins, and now they are going to look to take the first keep of the game out. Their goal is to get 3 points out of this series. They want 3 points for the leaderboard to start establishing themselves up at the top. On the other hand then, here's the next attack. Chachu down, Deathwing dead too, and it's the end of J-Heart. They're fighting this out, they're brawling the best they can, but it is starting to be a disaster. 18 kills to 2. And this is where slowly and steadily the red team is falling apart again. The keep already attacked, and they might be able to snowball this a little bit further. Death timers are, of course, non-existent at this point in time. We're only 9.5 minutes in, so they're trying the best that they can to somehow keep this one alive. But things are rough. Chachu gets attacked again. Imperius gets dropped. Dryerlink on Deathwing attacked again. J-Heart being chased. The core is already losing his shield as they really want that kill against Diablo, and they get it. But the core is also losing hit points, and this seems like it is the end of game number 3, and therefore the first match in the tournament. Deathwing goes down, so will the core. 3-0 for the Gremlins. They lock in 3 points in the first match of the round robin here at Meta Madness. GG, and well played.